All rise.
Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning. This is the time set for the 2 a.m. initial appearance calendar on November 4th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. I'll call you each one at a time to the podium and a second name to sit in the chair outside of this room. I will let you know what you are here for, if I have appointed an attorney, if you have a bond, and what your release conditions are. If we could start with Joshua Murillo to the podium and Enrique Moreno to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Yes, ma'am. It's Joshua Inez Murillo, 12/20/1994.
Thank you. It does look like we have two cases on the calendar. The first one is a direct complaint that was filed. It has an offense date of August 24th, 2025, and it is for 7 counts of endangerment, a Class 6 felony, 1 count of aggravated DUI with a passenger under the age of 15, a Class 6 felony, 1 count of aggravated DUI with a BAC of .08 with a passenger under 15, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of aggravated DUI with a BAC of .15 with a passenger under the age of 15, a Class 6 felony. Your other case is your probation case. I am going to appoint an attorney in both cases. You're going to have a status conference along with a probation revocation hearing November 10th at 8:30.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
also going to have a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30. Because you were on probation at the time of this offense, it's a Term 1 violation. In your new charges, you have a cash bond of $50,000. On your probation case, it's a cash bond of $5,000, so it's a total bond of $55,000. In the event you do post that bond, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services, and you will have alcohol, drug testing, and monitoring. And then you'll also have written conditions of release. Some of those things include not possessing weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. All of that will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
If it's up to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Enrique Moreno to the podium, Dustin Howerton to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Enrique Moreno, February 7, 1999.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a grand jury warrant that was issued. It does have an offense date ranging from November 12th, 2023 to December 24th, 2023. It is for 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a Class 3 felony, 3 counts of arson of a structure or property, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 4 felony. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you in this case and set an arraignment hearing November 12th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50,000. In the event you were to post that bond, you'd have written conditions of release. Some things include no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
What'd you say the charges were?
The charges are for 1 count of aggravated assault involving a deadly weapon or a dangerous instrument, 3 counts of arson of a structure or property, and 1 count of criminal damage.
The fuck? Okay.
This was back from 2023, so it's nearly 2 years ago. It is a grand jury warrant, meaning it's sealed, so I don't have information other than the charges that are listed. Does none of this sound familiar? Or just the aggravated assault?
None of it.
Okay. And your full name is Enrique Antonio Moreno Meza?
Yeah.
Date of birth, February 7th, 1999?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's who this warrant is for. Again, as I mentioned, with it being a grand jury warrant, it is sealed, so I don't have the underlying facts regarding what happened. When you go to your next hearing on November 12th, it'll be unsealed and your attorney can give you more information about it. But the warrant issued with those charges from November 12th, 2023 through December 24th, 2023. Any further questions, sir?
None you can answer.
All right, thank you, sir. If you'll take a step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Dustin Howerton to the podium and Justin Boyce to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Dustin Elliott Howerton, August 31st, 1997.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on a grand jury warrant that issued. It has an offense date from May 1st, 2025 to May 3rd, 2025. It is for 2 counts of theft means of transportation, a Class 3 felony. I'm appointing an attorney to represent you and setting an arraignment hearing November 12th at 8:30. You have a cash bond of $25,000. In the event you post that bond, you have written conditions of release. It does include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, not possessing weapons or alcohol, and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
I just have a question. What city those are out of? Do you know?
I don't think I'm going to be able to get that information, but let me see if there's anything in here. When it's a grand jury warrant, everything gets sealed, so I'm not sure if it's going to list anything. Yeah, it doesn't give me the city, just simply that it happened in Maricopa County.
Okay.
Well, it might be Scottsdale. Looks like there's a couple Scottsdale police report listed. I'm not 100% on that, but I do see a couple of Scottsdale police report numbers listed,
Okay.
so it may be Scottsdale, okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir. Justin Boyce to the podium, Brandon Wood to the chair.
Good morning, Your Honor.
May I get your name and date of birth?
Justin Boyce, December 30th, 1978.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on a new case. It is for 1 count of disorderly conduct involving a weapon, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of reckless driving, a Class 2 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference November 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. In the event you post that bond, you do have written conditions of release. You may not initiate contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness.
Okay.
All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
Yes, I have an eviction hearing in the morning, this morning. We are like right on the border of having everything we need to stay in the house. I'm wondering if you can reduce that bond at all, because it's like we're on the edge for losing the home. I've been there almost 3 years. And it's like, I mean, we had to come up with about $5,200 in cash today, and I have to be there at 9 a.m. But I'm hoping that I can. I mean, if you put my bond at $500, I mean, at $5,000, that $500 is we're gonna lose the house.
So I'm not inclined to reduce the bond based on the allegations in this case. I did review them. I do have some serious concerns regarding what happened, as well as for the alleged victim in this case and the community. It doesn't appear you knew this alleged victim, and yet there was allegations that a gun or a realistic looking gun was pulled on this person. And so the bond is going to remain here today. You will have to post that bond in order to be released from custody. All right, take a step to your left, officer. We'll get you that paperwork.
Great.
Brandon Wood to the podium. Michael Bosman to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Brandon Michael Franklin Wood, 9/7/1994.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a new case. It is for one count of disobeying an order of the court, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You will have an arraignment hearing in the Buckeye Municipal Court on November 12th at 1 p.m. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. In the event you post that bond, you do have written conditions of release. You may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with the alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and you must obey the terms of the order of protection that has been issued against you. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
Yes. I had a court yesterday, the White Tanks for a rescheduling hearing or something like that. I don't know if it's on there, but I was at court today. It was like the 4th and the 5th, I think, and the 6th was downtown. So how does that work? Are those gonna, like, because those are for cases that are like fine right now, as in today, as in I think I got to go to court today as well.
Yeah, it looks like you have a hearing at 8:30 in the morning.
I just wanted to make sure that
I don't have access to the White Tank Justice Court. I do see you have a Superior Court hearing
yes,
at 8:30 this morning in the South Tower Court. You need to let the officers know about that when you get to the back.
Okay, thank you. And so that's all I want to know is just let them know. That way I can take care of that, because I don't want to be here and have it, me get a warrant for that, me being here.
Yeah, I do see that there is a hearing, so just
Like
let them
the-
know and see if they can coordinate transportation. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure when their buses run, but talk to them when you get to the next step, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All
I
right, take a
appreciate
step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
it. Okay, thank you.
Michael Bosman to the podium. William Dunstan to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Michael Shane Bosman, 9/26/1980.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on 2 failure to appear warrants. It looks like you missed a probation hearing. Hold on, I'll give you an opportunity to speak at the end. I am going to affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you. I'm going to set a hearing November 10th at 8:30. That does apply to both cases. In each of these cases, you have a bond. The first one is $700. The other one is $350 for a total bond of $1,050. In the event you post that bond, you do have written conditions of release. You may not possess weapons or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I've got a big issue with this entire thing. I was in a behavioral health center. The day prior, went to the probation office, explained to them that I was going to be at Oasis Behavioral Health, that I would not be able to report in person, okay, and that I would not be able to meet my court date. I called her, could not do a video visit. I was in a behavioral health center. I spoke with my probation officer's supervisor. I left 3 messages to my public defender telling me that I was in Oasis, that was accountable and could not appear in person, and that I spoke with his supervisor as well. I made over 5 phone calls and appeared in person at the probation office the day prior. I do not understand how I got both failure to report or appear. Neither one of these are true. I'm very upset about this.
It's failing to appear at a court hearing, not that you failed to appear. Hold on, sir. Please don't interrupt me. It's that you failed to appear at a court hearing. Contacting your probation officer the day before a hearing is not going to resolve your... Please do not interrupt me or we will end this. You failed to appear at a court hearing, and as a result of that, this warrant issued. Contacting your probation officer to let them know you're not going to a hearing is not going to result in a warrant not issuing.
You're confused about what I'm saying. I contacted the probation department. I contacted none of that, but the public defender's office, spoke with the supervisor, and left 3 messages with my public defender, who has never returned my calls. And I was on my way to, before I realized I even had a warrant, I was going today to fire him for never returning my phone calls and to see what the status was on my case, because I was afraid that I couldn't trust him to even process the information properly, because he never follows up. I don't even think that he realized that I even contacted him to tell him that I was in an Oasis. But I was accountable, I can prove where I was, and then I even had a liaison from the place where I was at from my case manager call on my behalf.
Here's
None
my
of this got through
concern.
him.
Is contacting the probation office.
No, again,
Sure.
not
Okay,
probation.
take a step to your left, the hearing is over.
The public defender's office. I contacted the
The
public
hearing is
defender's
over,
office.
thank you.
The public defender's office. Do you understand?
William Dunstan to the podium, Melanie Espinoza to the chair. Make it your name and date of birth.
My name is Lord They call me, or you all call me, William Earl Burt Dunstan III.
And your date of birth?
2988.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a new case. I did speak to you the night of November 2nd at 11 p.m. regarding an offense date of November 2nd. They have added an additional charge, another 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 5 felony on an additional officer. I am finding probable cause and appointing an attorney to represent you. We're going to have a status conference November 10th at 8:30, on a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in this case in the amount of $500. So this is in addition to the bond we talked about on November 2nd. In the event all your bonds are posted and you're released from custody, you do have written conditions of release. It does include not making contact with any alleged victim and not possessing any weapons. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions regarding your release conditions?
No, I'm being released when?
You'd have to post bond in order to be released from custody.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Take a step to your left. The officer will get you that paperwork. Melanie Espinoza to the podium, Isaiah Brown to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Melanie Espinoza, 22297.
You are here today on 3 probation violation warrants with allegations you violated terms 3, 4, and 5 of your probation. I'm appointing an attorney and setting a probation revocation hearing November 10th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $200 in one case, $100 in the other 2 cases, for a total bond of $400. In the event your bond is posted, you do have written conditions of release. You may not possess weapons or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. All of this will be in your paperwork, ma'am. Did you have any questions?
No.
Because that's the rest, the officer will get you that paperwork. Isaiah Brown to the podium, Selena Yazzie to the chair.
Hello, ma'am.
Good morning. May I please get your name and date of birth?
11/11/98, ma'am. I'm Isaiah Brown.
Thank you, sir. And is it correct that you're currently serving time on a separate case right now?
Yeah, 6 months of county time.
Okay. So you're here on a warrant from the Agua Fria Justice Court. It looks like you failed to comply with some court orders or pay some fines for a previous charge in December of 2024 for exceeding the speed limit and driving with a license that was suspended, revoked, or
Yeah, I'm
canceled.
aware of it, ma'am.
So because you're in custody, what I'm going to do is I have to place what's called a placeholder bond of $50. Don't post it because you're not going to be released since you're serving time on the other case. That just ensures they'll make you available and transport you for the hearing I'm going to set in the Agua Fria Justice Court on November 7th at 8:30, and I'm appointing an attorney. You can let them know that you're currently serving time, and then hopefully you can get a hearing set after you get released from custody. And again, it looks like it's a post-adjudication, so you most likely owe some fines, and hopefully
Yeah, that's
get
what
back
it
on a
is,
payment
because I didn't
plan.
comply with the fines.
Okay. So again, you have a $50 bond. Don't post it because you're in custody. Go to that hearing. They'll transport you on November 7th and let them know what's going on, okay?
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Any questions?
No, that's it.
Okay, step to your left, officer. We'll get you that
Thank you,
paperwork.
ma'am.
Selena Yazzie to the podium and Christopher Serpa to the chair.
Oh. Hello,
Good morning. May I get your name and date of birth?
Selena Yasi, 1678.
Thank you, ma'am. You are here today on a new case for 1 count of shoplifting, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of resisting arrest, passive resistance, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference November 19th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 21st at 8:30. I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You do have written conditions of release. You may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. You're also going to get an envelope with your paperwork. You'll need to read the instructions and contact the pretrial services once you've been released. All of that will be in your paperwork, ma'am. Did you have any questions? Please step to your left. The officer will get you that paperwork. Christopher Serpa to the podium and Christopher Chapman to the chair. Good morning, sir. May I please get your name and date of birth?
Christopher Robert Serpa, 08/16/1983.
Thank you. You are here on a new case for 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you.
Okay.
You will have a status conference November 19th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 21st at 8:30. I'm going to release you today to the supervision of pretrial services.
Okay.
You have written conditions of release. Some of those things include not possessing weapons, not possessing drugs without a valid prescription. You're also going to get an envelope with your paperwork. You'll need to read those instructions and make sure you contact pretrial services once you've been released.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Please step to your left. The officer will get you that paperwork.
Thank you.
Christopher Chapman to the podium, Amber Bethel to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Christopher Chapman, August 26, 1984.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a new case. It is for 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found. However, due to the nature of your charges, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You're going to have an arraignment hearing in the Goodyear Municipal Court, November 19th at 1 p.m. I am going to release you today on your own recognizance. That is your promise to appear. You do have written conditions of release. It does include not initiating any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Just up to your left, officer will get you that paperwork. Amber Bethel to the podium and Mario Wilson to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Amber Bethel, 2/13/1989.
Thank you, ma'am. You are here today on a probation violation warrant with allegations that you violated term 3 of your probation. I am appointing an attorney and setting a probation revocation hearing November 10th at 8:30. I am releasing you on your own recognizance that your promise to appear. However, you are subject to the supervision of the Adult Probation Department. You're also going to have written conditions of release. You may not possess weapons or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. And if you fail to appear at the upcoming hearing, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and you will be held on bond at the next hearing. Did you have any questions, ma'am?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. If you step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Mario Wilson to the podium and Eldon Lintner to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
072904 Mario Wilson.
Thank you, sir. You are here on a warrant from the Hacienda Justice Court. Looks like you failed to appear at a hearing for an underlying charge of driving with a license that was suspended, revoked, or canceled. That offense date is February 28, 2024. Due to the nature of your charges, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You will have an arraignment hearing in the Hacienda Justice Court November 19th at 9 a.m. I am going to release you today on your own recognizance that your promise to appear at that hearing. You do have written conditions of release. Some of those things include not possessing any drugs without a valid prescription and not driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. All of that will be included in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. If you step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Eldon Lintner to the podium. May I get your name and date of birth?
Yes, it's Eldon Estes Littner, and it's 22/1963.
Thank you, sir. You are here on a new case. It is for 1 count of knowingly displaying a false license plate, a Class 2 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found. Due to the nature of your charge, you're not entitled to court-appointed counsel. You're going to have an arraignment hearing in the West Mesa Justice Court on November 18th at 8:30 in the morning. I am going to release you today on your own recognizance. That's your promise to appear at that hearing. You will have some written conditions of release. Some of those things include not possessing drugs without a valid prescription, not driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. All of this will be included in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
The remaining cases will proceed as house calls due to being unable to function, a danger to self, or a danger to others. Case number 25, Megan Berlinger, date of birth August 8, 1983. She is here on a warrant from the Pinal County Superior Court with allegations that she violated her probation. I am appointing an attorney and setting an arraignment hearing in Pinal County on November 7th at 8:30. She is being held non-bondable. Case number 15 and 21 are for Jamie Terry, date of birth June 20th, 1976. He is here on a new case as well as a probation violation. His new charges are for 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. His probation case is a Term 1 violation based on these new charges. I'm appointing an attorney in both cases and setting a status conference along with a probation revocation hearing November 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30. He will have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000 on his new charges, $1,000 on his probation case, for a total bond of $11,000. In the event bond is posted, he has written conditions of release. He may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any victims, and he must contact his probation officer within 72 hours. Case number 16 and 23 are for Anthony Smith, date of birth June 3rd, 1980. He is here on a new case as well as a probation case. His new charges are for 1 count of robbery, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespass, a Class 1 misdemeanor. His probation case is a Term 1 violation based on his new charges. I am finding probable cause and appointing an attorney. He will have a status conference along with a probation revocation hearing November 10th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30. He has a secured appearance bond of $5,000 on his new case, $1,000 on his probation case, for a total bond of $6,000. In the event bond is posted, he does have written conditions of release. He may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, and he must contact his probation officer within 72 hours of release. All of this will be included in his paperwork. If after I meet with any of these parties, I change the orders, I will update the written record. This does conclude our 2 a.m. calendar, and we will now stand in recess until 5 a.m. Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning. This is the time set for the 5 a.m. initial appearance calendar on November 4th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. I'll call you each one at a time to the podium. I'll provide a second name to sit in the chair outside of this room. I will let you know what you are here for, if I have appointed an attorney, if you have a bond, and what your release conditions are. If we could start with Justin McDonald to the podium and Joel Renfro to the chair. Good morning. May I get your name and date of birth?
Justin McDonald, 9693.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on a new case. It is for one count of conspiracy, a Class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a couple of hearings in the downtown Superior Courthouse, starting with the status conference November 10th at 8:30, an evidentiary hearing November 10th at 1:30, and a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30. At the time of this offense, you were out on felony release for a separate case that is pending, and because of that, you're not eligible for bond today. The time set for an evidentiary hearing is November 10th at 1:30. That's when they will determine if bond will be set on these new charges. Did you have any questions, sir?
So that was the next court date. They'll determine. You said it was the 10th or?
November 10th, you have a hearing in the morning. That's your status conference. Then you'll have a hearing in the afternoon. It's the afternoon hearing that will determine if bond will be set on this case.
All right.
All right. If you'll step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Mr. Renfro to the podium. Robert to the chair. Oh, we have two Roberts. Robert Macaluso to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Joel Timothy Renfro, 8983.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a new case. It does look like it is for 2 counts of trafficking stolen property in the first degree, a Class 2 felony, 4 counts of burglary, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of theft. This does range from the dates of October 6th, 2025 to November 3rd, 2025. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. We're going to have a status conference November 10th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30, both in the downtown Superior Courthouse. You have a secured appearance bond of $35,000. In the event you post that bond, you do have written conditions of release. Some of those things will include not returning to the scene of any alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
No.
If you'll step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
All right, thank you.
Robert Macaluso to the podium and Joshua Bray to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Robert Macaluso, 2187.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a new case. It is for 2 counts of threat, a Class 3 felony, 2 counts of threat, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. For purposes of today's hearing only, I'm not finding probable cause for the disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
Does not mean that it is dismissed. They may move forward with that charge.
Right.
I am appointing an attorney to represent you, and I'm setting a status conference November 10th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30.
All right.
You do have a secured appearance bond of $25,000. In the event you post that bond, you do have written conditions of release. You may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness, and you may not possess any weapons. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
So I'm not going home today?
Not without posting bond. If you post bond, then they will process you out of custody. If you don't post bond, you will remain in custody and they'll transport you to your hearing.
All right, I have a lawyer. Can I post bond? Like, how do I do that?
Yeah, so the next step, they're going to give you all the information on how to post bond. Once you leave here, you'll go to the next step and you can post bond today.
All right, so I can leave today?
If you post bond, yes, after
Okay.
it's posted, it takes about 4 to 6 hours to get processed out of custody.
All right.
Then just make sure you go to all of your future hearings. If you fail
Yeah.
to appear at any of them, you'd forfeit the bond, okay?
No, I'll go to him.
All right, thank you,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Just step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
This way, okay.
Joshua Bray to the podium, Juan Damian to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Joshua Adam Bray, 1686.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on two cases. Looks like they're both failure to appear bench warrants that were issued for you related to some aggravated DUI charges. I'm going to affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you and set a status conference November 13th at 8:30. That does apply to both cases. You have a cash bond of $5,000 in each case for a total bond of $10,000. In the event you post that bond, you do have written conditions of release. Some of those things include not possessing weapons or alcohol. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
None.
All right, if you step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Juan Damian to the podium and Vanessa Durazo to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Juan Giron Damien, 0625-1999.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on two probation violation warrants with allegations that you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I am appointing an attorney to represent you and setting a probation revocation hearing November 10th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $500 in one case, $100 in the other, for a total of $600. In the event you do post that bond, you have written conditions of release. Some of those things include not possessing weapons or alcohol and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. All of that will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
So I'm not getting released right now unless
You have a bond of $600 that would need to be posted in order to be released. If you do post that and are released, you need to make sure you get yourself to your hearings. If you don't post bond, you'll remain in custody and they'll transport you to that hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Vanessa Durazo to the podium, Lloyd Southern to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Vanessa Durazo,
And your date of birth, ma'am?
1/2/2004,
Can you repeat your date of birth?
January 2nd, 2004.
I show a different date of birth. Have you ever used any other date of birth?
Yeah, May 7, 1981.
All right, thank you, ma'am. It does look like you are here today on a warrant from the West McDowell Justice Court. Looks like it's a probation violation warrant that issued October 1st, 2025. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you and set an arraignment hearing. That will take place on November 7th at 8:30 in the West McDowell Justice Court. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. In the event you post that bond and are released from custody, you do have written conditions of release. It does include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. All of this will be in your paperwork, ma'am. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, just step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Lloyd Sutherland to the podium and Robert Blackburn to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Lloyd Sutherland, 7/1/94.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued for you related to a pending drug charge. I am going to affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you. You're going to have a status conference November 10th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in this case in the amount of $250. I do note that a motion to quash your warrant was recently filed. A hearing was set for today at 8:30 a.m. There's no chance of you getting there. There's not time for you to be transported to it, and you won't be released from custody in time. So I did send a note to the judge letting her know that you're in custody here today. You're not going to make it to that hearing, and that your next hearing is going to be with her on November 10th. So I just did want to make you aware that I did check into that, and there was nothing we could do to get you transported in time. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. In the event you post that bond, you will have written conditions of release. It does include not possessing drugs without a valid prescription. And then, of course, make sure you get to these next hearings. If you fail to appear again, another warrant would issue. You'd forfeit your bond. If you don't post bond, then you will remain in custody until your next hearing on November 10th at 8:30, and they'll transport you to that hearing. Okay, sir?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Robert Blackburn to the podium. Horacio Hernandez to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Robert Warren Blackburn, 22785.
Thank you, sir. You're here on two cases. The first one is a new case. The other one is a probation violation warrant. Your new charges are for 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. For purposes of today's hearing, I'm not finding probable cause on these charges. That doesn't mean they're dismissed. They may test the substance and move forward. So I'm still going to appoint an attorney and give you some hearings you need to go to. If you fail to appear at any of these hearings, a warrant will still issue for your arrest. Your hearings are going to be on November 19th at 8:30 and November 21st at 8:30.
Okay.
But you're also here on a probation violation warrant that issued with allegations that you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I'm appointing an attorney in that case and setting a probation revocation hearing November 10th at 8:30. In that case, you do have a bond of $250. In the event you post that bond and are released from custody, you have written conditions of release. You may not possess weapons or alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
So I'm not getting released today?
Not without posting the bond on your probation case. You are being released as to the other charges, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Hernandez to the podium, Mr. Duarte to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Horacio Hernandez, 13189.
Thank you, sir. You are here on a new case for 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You will have a status conference November 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $50. However, I do see a note in here that you have a hold from the Department of Corrections. So you may want to hold off to find out what happens with that before posting your bond. If you post this bond and then are taken by the Department of Corrections, you won't be transported for any of your hearings here, okay? All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions? Okay, if you step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Mr. Duarte to the podium, Mr. Ruiz to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Tommy Duarte, 12/23/1982.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a new case. It is for 1 count of dangerous drugs possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference November 19th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing November 21st at 8:30. I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You do have written conditions of release. Some of those things include not possessing any drugs without a valid prescription, not driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and then you're also going to get an envelope with your paperwork. You need to read those instructions and contact pretrial services once you've been released. All of this will be included in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions? Okay, if you'll step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
All right, people, Judge, line up if you want.
And then we're just working on getting an interpreter for our next few cases.
And influencing change.
Good morning. Do I have a Spanish interpreter on the line?
Hola, muy buenas. Yo seré su intérprete. En esta llamada estaré interpretando todo lo que se diga.
It looks like we have 3 cases on the calendar. Are you ready to begin, sir?
As an interpreter, I'm ready.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to start with a general announcement. I do ask that each party waiting to utilize the interpreter wait until he translates everything before responding.
Bueno, voy a iniciar con el anuncio general. Voy a solicitarle a cada parte que espere a utilizar el intérprete. Esperar hasta que haya traducido todo antes de responder.
If I could have Jesus Ruiz to the podium, please.
¿Podríamos presentarse Jesús Ruiz al podium, por favor?
Good morning, sir. Could I please get your name and date of birth?
Buenos días. ¿Podría brindarme su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento?
Sí, Jesús Manuel Ruiz Mejía, el 6 de mayo de 1978.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Interpreter, we can no longer hear you. Are you still with us? Can you hear the court, sir? Sir, were you able to hear Mr. Ruiz provide you his name and date of birth? Sir, are you still with the court? I think we'll have to. It'll be just one moment.
Ok, está bien, gracias. ¿Vale? Ah, ok, está bien, está bien.
In-person visits. To request.
Good morning. Do I have a Spanish interpreter on the line?
Good morning. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to place you on just a brief hold, and then we will begin the calendar, okay?
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm going to handle a quick warrant, and then we will begin.
Sure.
Please swear or affirm the information contained in your application and warrant. That's your personal knowledge information, I believe. Thank you so much for your time. All right, thank you. Is my microphone on? Yeah, okay. Thank you for your patience, ma'am. We are ready to begin now. I do have the defendant in front of me. Sir, may I please get your name and date of birth?
Señor, ¿me puede dar por favor su nombre y fecha de nacimiento?
Sí. Jesús Manuel Ruiz Mejía, el 6 de mayo de 1978.
Jesús Manuel Rey Mejía,
Yes.
May 6, 1960.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on a new case.
Gracias, señor. Parece que lo tenemos aquí en un nuevo caso.
It is for one count of criminal trespass of a residential structure, a Class 6 felony.
I'm sorry, criminal trespass on residential.
A residential structure, a Class 6 felony.
Muy bien, lo tenemos aquí con una cuenta criminal, penal típica como delito grave, la entrada ilegal en una vivienda.
And one count of disobeying an order of the court, a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Y una condenación de un delito menor de desobediencia a la corte.
Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you.
Causa probable ha sido encontrada y le voy a apuntar un abogado.
You will have a hearing on November 10th and November 13th at 8:30 in the morning.
Va a tener usted una audiencia el día 10 de noviembre.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, you said November 10th and 13th at 8:30 in the morning?
That's correct.
El día 10 de noviembre y el día 13 de noviembre a las 8:30 de la mañana.
Okay.
You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can you repeat that, please?
Yes, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500.
Usted tiene una fianza de comparecencia de $2,500.
In the event you post the bond, you have written conditions of release.
Sorry, Your Honor, I didn't hear the last part. In the event you post the bond, written conditions.
You will have written conditions of release.
Incluso condiciones escritas posteriores a la fianza de liberación.
You may not return to the scene of the crime.
No puede regresar a la escena del crimen.
And you must obey the order of protection that has been issued.
Y tiene que obedecer la orden de protección que ha sido puesta.
All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
Todo esto estará en todos sus documentos. ¿Tiene alguna pregunta?
No, está bien, entonces, sí, está bien, sí, tengo entendido eso, de no volver allí, al domicilio.
That's fine. I have an understanding. I'm not going back to that address.
Thank you, sir. If you will step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
Gracias, señor. Si se va a la izquierda, el oficial le entregará los documentos.
Ok, muy bien, gracias. Buen día.
Thank you. Good day.
Can I have Benito Mercado to the podium, please?
Benito Mercado, al podio, por favor.
Buenos días.
Good morning. May I please get your name and date of birth?
Benito Mercado
Buenos días,
Hernández.
¿me puede dar? Benito Mercado Hernández. Fecha de nacimiento.
30 de agosto de 1998.
August 30, 1998.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a new case.
Gracias, señor. Está aquí en un nuevo caso.
It is for one count of burglary, a Class 4 felony.
I'm sorry. Esto es por un robo de monedas de delito grave.
Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you.
Causa probable ha sido encontrada y le voy a asignar un abogado.
You will have a hearing on November 10th and November 13th at 8:30 in the morning.
Va a tener una audiencia el día 10 y el día 13 de noviembre a las 8:30 de la mañana.
You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $25,000.
Tiene bono de seguridad puesta por una fianza de $2,500.
In the event you post bond, you have written conditions of release.
En el evento de que usted, pero incluso después de liberación por escrito, la condición de la fianza sería por liberación.
It will include not returning to the scene of the crime,
Va a incluir no regresar a la escena del crimen
and contacting your probation officer within 24 hours of release.
y contactar a su oficial de libertad condicional después de 24 horas después de ser liberado.
All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
Todo eso se encontrará en sus documentos. ¿Tiene alguna pregunta?
Entonces, si no pago la fianza, no puedo pagar la fianza hasta cuando es mi liberación.
If I can't pay the bond till when is my release?
I don't know when your release will be. You'll have to talk to your attorney at the next hearing.
No sé cuándo va a ser su liberación. Tiene que hablar con su abogado en la próxima audiencia.
I do see a note that you have a federal probation violation as well.
Sí veo aquí en sus notas que usted tiene una infracción de libertad condicional federal.
So you will likely be seeing a judge for that as well.
Más que seguro va a haber un juez por esta razón al igual.
Anything further, sir?
Es todo.
¿Algo más, señor? That's all.
Sí, sería todo. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much.
If you will step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork. Thank you, sir.
Si usted va hacia la izquierda, el oficial le entregará los documentos. Gracias, señor.
Can I have Brisa Nahara to the podium?
Brisa Mahara al podio, por favor.
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Brisa Nájera y mi fecha es 5/11/78.
Brisa Nahara. May 11th.
Ma'am, do you need the use of an interpreter?
Please. I understand a lot, but I need an interpreter, please.
Okay, I will just ask that you answer in Spanish.
Thank you so much.
We are here today on a new case.
Estamos aquí hoy en un nuevo caso.
It is for one count of burglary, a class 4 felony.
Es por una cuenta de robo, de allanamiento por delito grave.
Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you.
Causa probable ha sido encontrada y le voy a asignar un abogado.
You will have a hearing on November 10th and November 13th at 8:30 in the morning.
Va a tener una audiencia el noviembre 10 y el día 13 de noviembre a las 8:30 de la mañana.
You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500.
Tiene una fianza de apariencia en la cantidad de $2,500.
In the event you post that bond, you have written conditions of release.
En el evento que usted cumpla con esa fianza, tiene condiciones de liberación por escrito.
It does include not returning to the scene of the crime.
Incluye no regresar a la escena del crimen.
All of this will be in your paperwork, ma'am. Did you have any questions?
Todo eso se encontrará en sus documentos. Señora, ¿tiene alguna pregunta?
No, está bien, gracias. Thank you.
That's fine, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. If you will step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
Gracias, señora. Si se va hacia la izquierda, el oficial le entregará sus documentos.
And that does conclude our final Spanish matter this morning. I do appreciate your assistance, ma'am. Please feel free to disconnect at your convenience.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
You too. Can I have Gary Armstrong to the podium, please? Good morning. May I get your name and date of birth?
Gary Armstrong, 3667.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here on two cases. Your first case is a new charge. The other case is a warrant from the state of Minnesota.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about your new charges first, then we'll talk about the other warrant, okay? Your new charges are for 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. In this case, you have a status conference November 10th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30. Those are both in the downtown Maricopa County Superior Courthouse. You have a bond of $250 in this case. However, we have another warrant, as I mentioned, from Minnesota. Did you get an opportunity to review the laminated card that was given to you? No, did they give you a laminated card?
No.
Yes, I provided for him.
The big card, the big white sheet that was...
Sitting down, I gave it to you.
You didn't get an opportunity to review it? Do you recall getting it? It was it's a big, long sheet.
He said he gave it to me. He probably did.
Okay. We'll go over what it talked about, and I'll let you choose which option you want to do. So you're here because Minnesota has indicated that they have issued a warrant for your arrest related to a dangerous drug charge.
Yeah.
They have indicated that they want to extradite you back to Minnesota as it relates to these charges.
Okay.
In this case, you have an option to make, and that's what that card was discussing.
Okay.
Your first choice is you can say, yes, Minnesota, I'm ready to go back. You can come pick me up to address these charges. If you were to do that, you would be held here in the Maricopa County Jail, non-bondable, for 30 days. That 30 days would start tomorrow, except in your situation, you have a pending case here in Arizona. So that 30 days would not start until the closure of your Arizona charges.
Yeah.
Or in the alternative, you have the right to demand that the governor of both Arizona and the governor of Minnesota sign a governor's warrant ordering you to go back before they extradite you. That process takes about 60 to 90 days, and in that case, I would set a hearing here in Maricopa County on November 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That hearing is civil in nature, meaning I could not appoint an attorney, but you could hire one at your own expense for that hearing. You would be entitled to a cash bond of $3,000 in that case. If you were to post that bond, the $3,000 plus the $250, you would be released from custody. You would have written conditions of release. Some of those things would include not possessing any drugs without a valid prescription, not driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Then you would need to ensure you got yourself to all of the hearings we'd set here in Maricopa County. If you failed to appear at any of them, a warrant would issue, you'd forfeit your bond, and you'd still have a valid warrant in Minnesota as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what you'd like to do as it relates to your Minnesota charges?
I was going to court. And, they didn't take me to court for 6 months. My apartment complex burned down, so I was, the lady told me just go to rehab. And I came out here with the rehab. But I didn't think that, after 6 months, I didn't think it was going to be picked up. So I moved back here, right? And now here it is. So they want a $300 cash bond.
A $3,000 cash bond. That's the bond they set had you been in Minnesota. They want you held without bail because you're in Arizona, but that doesn't comply with our laws, so I'm holding you on their original bond of $3,000.
And then, I did this before a long time ago. I remember I signed some papers and I was extradited.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I got there, they let me out, but, so you said I can sign this, get it,
You can sign paperwork saying you're willing to be extradited back,
yeah.
but you'd be held non-bondable here in our jails, and that
Because of
30 days for them to pick you up would not start until you finish your new pending charges with Maricopa County.
So if I said, they can take me back. They would just put my case off for Arizona and take me back. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
you would have to resolve your case here in Arizona, then we would let them know you were ready to be picked up, and the 30 days for them to pick you up would start then, and you would remain in custody that entire time.
There's no way I can resolve that one first.
Say that again, sir?
I can't resolve that one first.
No, sir. What I can do is your hearings on your new charges are November 10th and November 13th. You can not waive your rights today. We can set that hearing here in Maricopa County on November 17th. You'll know more what's going on with your local charges, and they'll give you this option again on November 17th. You'll have had an opportunity to talk to your attorney to see how quickly you may be able to resolve that case.
And, they think that I just left, huh? That's probably what they think.
I don't know. We get limited information. It just indicates that it is a dangerous drug charge. They issued the warrant with full extradition. We did reach out to them, and they did confirm that they are willing to extradite you. And they issued this warrant on March 31st, 2025. That's the information they have provided our court.
Is there a way that I could contact Minnesota and if I was out for a year and they dropped this case, I just contact them, let them know. That's the situation I was in because, like I said, my apartment burned down. It's on record. You see what I'm saying? If the way I could contact them.
You can attempt to contact them. I don't have information to give you on how to contact them.
If I were to contact them, probably would have a lawyer over there already, huh? No.
I don't know Minnesota law, so I don't want to say for sure if you do or not. That would be something you'd want to direct to them, whether or not they've appointed an attorney to represent you. It sounds like you were involved in this case a little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe they appointed one.
Yeah, I was going for it, yeah.
Okay. So they may do that again. If you're unsure, and because you have these pending charges, we can just set that hearing here on November 17th. You'll have a bond. If you choose to bond out, you can. If you remain in custody, you'll know a little bit more about what's going on with your Arizona charges by the time you see the judge on November 17th. And if at that time you want to say you're ready to be extradited, you could. You'll be given the opportunity to do that again.
No. You can't do nothing about my bond on that one?
I can't change the bond on your Minnesota order.
Okay. But the other judge could. Hey.
I don't know that she will change it. We typically honor the other states.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But, you definitely can talk to her about how she wants to proceed with it. She will be the one handling it going forward. The judge will meet on November 17th if you choose to do that. Okay,
I think that they think that I just left, but I didn't just leave. I was waiting on them, and I did what they told me to do. Sign up for rehab. I'm going to wait.
Okay.
And I still be vulnerable, huh?
Yeah, so you'll be bondable. We'll just set all those hearings. You have 3 hearings coming up, November 10th and November 13th for your new charges, November 17th for your Minnesota case. If you post bond, just make sure you go to those. Again, otherwise a failure to appear warrant will issue and then you'd forfeit the bond. You'd have warrants here and then you'd also have the warrant in Minnesota still valid, okay?
Okay.
All right, if you'll take a seat in the gallery, we'll get this document printed for you, all right? Thank you, sir. Our remaining case will proceed as a house call due to being disruptive. Robert Peacock, date of birth September 28th, 1957, is here on a new case for 1 count of aggravated assault, a class 3 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent him. He will have a status conference November 19th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing November 21st at 8:30. I am releasing him to the supervision of pretrial services. In the event he posts bond, he has written conditions of release. It does include no contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. If anything changes after I meet with him, I will update the written record. This does conclude our 5 a.m. calendar, and we will now stand in recess until 8 a.m.
Almost there.
Yes.
And due to the severity of the crime, and due to the severity of the injuries to one of the alleged victims, that is the reason for, between the severity of the offenses, the concerns for flight. I am concerned about the safety of the victim, safety of the community, as well as flight risk. So that is the reason why the bond is set as it is.
Okay.
Mr. Martinez, will you please come to the podium? And Mr. Jaime Valenzuela, if you will, please have a seat in the chair by the door. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Daniel Guzman Martinez, January 4, 2003.
You are here today because the grand jury charged you with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a Class 3 felony alleged to have occurred on March 31st of 2023. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have an arraignment hearing on November 12th at 8:30. The grand jury warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot have any contact with the alleged victim. You cannot possess any weapons. If there are orders of protection or orders against harassment that have been issued, you must comply with the terms of those orders. And you are cautioned that if you violate the no victim contact order in this case, you could be charged with aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failing to appear for your court date would result in the loss of any bond that you post. Warrants would issue for your arrest and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I have to talk to you about. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
I was just confused because it's been 2 years ago. Why all of a sudden did I get a warrant for my arrest?
This is a grand jury. A grand jury heard information and decided to charge you with that offense. And once the grand jury basically indicts.
Will I be able to post bail today?
Yes, the officers will give you information regarding the bonding agencies when you get back there.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Valenzuela, will you please come to the podium? And Andrew Bolwar, will you please have a seat in the chair by the door? Hello, sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jaime Alejandro Montaño Valenzuela, January 14, 1998.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of armed robbery with threat of use of a weapon, a Class 2 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause as to both charges, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on November 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on November 13th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime and you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims, nor can you possess any weapons. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failing to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to talk to you about today. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bolwar, will you please come to the podium? And Mr. Luker, if you'll please have a seat in the chair by the door. Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Andrew Bowar, 052604.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of armed robbery with a deadly weapon, a Class 2 felony, 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony, and 1 count of possession of a weapon that has been modified, illegal modification of the weapon, a Class 4 felony. The date of these alleged offenses is November 1st of this year. I did find probable cause as to all of the charges, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on November 10th at 8:30. You have a preliminary hearing on November 13th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims, and you cannot have any contact with any alleged co-defendants. This is another one, Julie. You also cannot possess any weapons.
Excuse me, Your Honor?
I'm not done. Hold on.
Sorry.
Failure to comply with your release conditions or failing to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest and additional bond would be imposed.
In about 3 years ago, I was accused of something similar. I paid my bond and got out, and they dropped all my charges. Is there any way I can get OR this time so I don't have to pay?
I'm not going to OR you this time based on the information that I read, the nature of the offense, and the alleged facts surrounding it. Mr. Luker, will you please come to the podium? And Jacoby King, will you please have a seat in the chair by the door? Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Dalen Luker, 9/15/1993.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of conspiracy, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of aggravated DUI, driving with a license that has been suspended, revoked for previous DUI, a class 4 felony. I did find probable cause as to both counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference hearing on November 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on November 13th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $25,000. If you're able to post bond, you'll be released to pretrial services where you are to participate in alcohol testing and monitoring. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crimes, and you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failing to appear for your court date would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to talk to you about this morning. If you do not have any questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Mr. King, will you please come to the podium? And Fernando Del Angel, if you'll please have a seat in the chair by the door.
Good morning, ma'am. How you doing?
Good morning. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Jacoby King, August 20th, 2007.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 1 count of armed robbery with a deadly weapon, a class 2 felony. The date of this alleged offense is October 17th, 2025. I did find probable cause as to that offense, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on November 10th at 8:30. You have a preliminary hearing on November 13th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $25,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, you cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim, and you cannot possess any weapons. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failing to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond would be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to talk to you about today. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork.
Yes, ma'am. Is there if I can't make my bond by today, is there any way I can do my schoolwork? I'm a full-time college student.
I don't have any control of what you have access to if you remain in custody. That is a question that you would need to talk to the deputies about.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Mr. Del Angel, will you please come to the podium? And Christina Birch, will you please have a seat in the chair by the door? Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Fernando Del Angel, 10/11/1980.
You are here today on a new case. And then you also have a probation violation warrant. On your new case, you were charged with 1 count of theft or control of property, knowing that it was stolen, a class 5 felony. I did find probable cause as to that offense, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on November 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on November 13th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, and you cannot possess any weapons, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. On your probation violation warrant, I did appoint an attorney to represent you in that matter. You will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on November 10th at 8:30, and you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. Your total secured appearance bond between the two cases is $10,250. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failing to appear for your court dates will result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to talk to you about today. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Ms. Birch, will you please come to the podium? And Daniel Gilbert, if you'll please have a seat in the chair by the door. Good morning. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Christina Birch, 22482.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 3 counts of trafficking stolen property in the first degree, a class 2 felony, 4 counts of organized retail theft of merchandise, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of organized retail theft using an artifice, a class 4 felony. The date of the alleged offenses are September 14th, October 6th, October 22nd, and November 3rd of this year. I did find probable cause as to all of the charges, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference hearing on November 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on November 13th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failing to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to chat to you about today. If you don't have any questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork.
Is there any way you could lower that to 2,500?
I'm not inclined to do that due to the nature of the offense and the financial loss. That is a public safety concern. Okay. There are financial victims here, and it went on for a prolonged period of time, allegedly according to the probable cause statement, so that's why I set the bond where I did.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Gilbert, will you please come to the podium? And Carla Betcher, if you'll please have a seat in the chair by the door.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Yes, Daniel Gilbert, August 21st, 1986.
You are here today on a new case. You were charged with 2 counts of burglary in the 3rd degree, a class 4 felony. I did find probable cause as to both counts, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you. You do have a status conference hearing on November 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on November 13th at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. If you are able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victims. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failing to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to talk to you about this morning. If you have no questions for me, if you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. Ms. Bocher, if you'll please come to the podium, and Bridget Dykes, if you'll please have a seat in the chair by the door. Good morning, ma'am. Will you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Carla Betcher, September 27th, 75.
You are here today because you have 2 warrants for failing to appear for court dates, and you have a new case. I'm going to first talk to you about your new case. You were charged with 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, class 4 felony, and I'm so sorry. 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is actually a class 6 felony. I'm going to correct this, the charging, Julie. Sorry, I missed that earlier. Okay. It's the new case with charges stated for today. Okay, so as to the possession of dangerous drugs, I did find probable cause. I did not find probable cause as to the possession of drug paraphernalia. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a status conference hearing on November 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on November 13th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. As to your 2 probation violation your 2 warrants for failing to appear, attorneys were already appointed to represent you in those matters. On your first one, you have a non-witness possible disposition hearing on November 10th at 8:30, and that warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. On your second warrant, again, counsel was already appointed to represent you in that matter, and you will have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on November 10th at 8:30, and that also had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. So your total secured appearance bond between the 3 cases is $1,000. If you're able to post bond, you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, you cannot possess any weapons, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failing to appear for your court dates would result in the loss of any bond that you post. Warrants would again issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to talk to you about today. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Thank you. Ms. Dakes, will you please come to the podium? And Abel Ortiz, will you please have a seat in the chair by the door? Good morning, ma'am. Can you please give me your first and last name and your date of birth?
Patricia Dykes, May 5th, 2003.
You are here today because you have two warrants out of Youngstown Municipal Court. You have a warrant out of El Mirage Municipal Court, and you have a probation violation warrant. As to your probation violation matter, I did appoint an attorney to represent you in that matter. You will have a non-witness possible disposition hearing on November 10th at 8:30. That warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. For your two matters out of Youngstown Municipal Court, I did appoint an attorney to represent you in those matters. You will have an arraignment hearing on November 13th at 9 a.m. One of your warrants has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100. Your other matter has both of those has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100. And then as to your last matter out of El Mirage Municipal Court, I appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. You will have an arraignment hearing on November 10th at 10 a.m., and that warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50. So your total secured appearance bond between all of your cases is $750. If you are able to post bond, you must appear for all of your court dates. Failure to do so would result in the loss of any bond that you post. Warrants would again issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to talk to you about today. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. This one?
The 2022?
Oh, it was a failure to appear?
Yeah.
I didn't. Right. Mr. Ortiz, will you please come to the podium? Sir, can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Abel Ortiz, 5/13/89.
Sir, you are here today because you have a probation violation warrant. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You do have a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on November 10th at 8:30. Your warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. If you are able to post bond, you must appear for your court date. Failure to appear for your court date would result in the loss of any bond that you post. A warrant would issue for your arrest, and additional bond could be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to talk to you about today. If you have no questions for me, if you'll please step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork. Darren Naminga, can you please come to the podium? Darren, because I realized I did something out of order.
The FOJ? Okay, yeah.
So I'm doing the FOJ last.
All right. I was curious.
Yeah.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Can you please state your first and last name?
Yeah, Darren Naminga, date of birth 11/7/84.
You are here today because you have a new case. You are charged with one count of theft of control of property, a Class 4 felony. I did find probable cause as to that offense, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have a status conference hearing on November 19th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on November 21st at 8:30. I am inclined to release you to pretrial services. What that means is that I will release you back into the community without bond, but your release will be supervised by pretrial services. You do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear for your court dates?
Yes, ma'am. I have never missed any court dates.
Okay. You have the following release conditions. You cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. You cannot initiate any contact with the alleged victim, and you cannot possess any weapons. Failure to comply with your release conditions or failing to appear for your court dates would result in a warrant issuing for your arrest, and a bond would be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to talk to you about. If you have no questions for me, if you will step to your left, officer will give you your paperwork.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Abdul Mitchell, will you please come to the podium? Hello, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Abdul Mitchell, 11/13/79.
Sir, you are here today because a direct complaint was filed where you were charged with 2 counts of possession of a narcotic drug, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of a dangerous drug, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. The date of these alleged offenses is May 12th of 2025. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have a status conference hearing on November 19th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on November 21st at 8:30. I am inclined to release you to pretrial services today, which means I will release you back into the community without bond, but your release will be supervised by pretrial services. You do have to promise to appear for your court dates. Do you promise to appear for your court dates?
Yes, ma'am.
Please be advised that if you fail to comply with your release conditions or you fail to appear for your court dates, a warrant will issue for your arrest and a bond would be imposed. This takes care of everything that I needed to talk to you about today. If you have no questions for me, if you'll step to your left, the officer will give you your paperwork. We do need to clear before we do the FOJ. Damian Hyde, date of birth, April 18th, 2004, is here on a new case. Mr. Hyde is not physically present in court due to the inability to function. He was charged with 1 count of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, a Class 3 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause as to that offense. Due to the nature of the charge, he is not entitled to court-appointed counsel. He will have an arraignment hearing on November 19th at 1 p.m. He will be released on his own recognizance. He cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime. Mr. Hyde will be advised that if he fails to comply with his release conditions or he fails to appear for his court date, a warrant will issue for his arrest and a bond could be imposed. I will meet with Mr. Hyde. If any changes are needed, I will do so either on the record or in writing. Mr. Boston, will you please come to the podium? Good morning, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and your date of birth?
Kevin Boston, 4/21/1996.
Sir, you are here today because you have a number of cases. You have 1 new case. You have, I believe, 3 warrants for failing to appear for court dates, and you have a warrant as a fugitive of justice. So I'm first going to talk to you about your new case, then your warrant, and the last matter we will talk about is your warrant out of Colorado.
Okay.
So on your new case, you were charged with 1 count of aggravated taking the identification of another, a Class 3 felony, 2 counts of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony. The date of these alleged offenses is August 19th and November 3rd of this year. I did find probable cause as to all of the charges, and I did appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. You will have a status conference hearing on November 10th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on November 13th at 8:30. Because you were on felony release at the time that this alleged offense occurred under Arizona law, you're not eligible for bond today. So I did schedule an evidentiary hearing for you for November 10th at 1:30. Then as to, I'm going to go over your warrants for failing to appear, and I'm just going to go through them one by one.
Okay.
So your first warrant for failing to appear, an attorney was appointed to represent you in that matter. You do have a status conference hearing on November 12th at 8:30. That warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $15,000. Then your second warrant for failing to appear, again, an attorney was appointed to represent you in that matter, and you have a non-witness hearing on November 12th at 8:30.
What does that mean?
Non-witness? Well, you were scheduled to have a non-witness hearing when you failed to appear for that one. This was a violation of probation matter, and you failed to appear for the non-witness hearing, so they rescheduled it. So that's where you will talk about how you want to proceed.
Okay.
So that warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. Your next warrant for failing to appear, again, has another non-witness hearing, and you have a non-witness hearing on November 12th at 8:30. Again, it has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. Then your next warrant for, then this one, the one that I'm going to discuss now, is a grand jury warrant. A grand jury charged you with 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony. The date of the alleged offense was April 21st of 2023. I did appoint an attorney to represent you in that matter. You have an arraignment hearing on November 12th at 8:30, and that has a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. And your last warrant for failing to appear for a court date, an attorney was appointed to represent you in that matter, and again, you have a non-witness hearing on November 12th at 8:30, and that warrant had a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. So your secured appearance bond so far with these matters is $23,000. Now, as to your warrant for out of Colorado, that causes you to be a fugitive of justice.
I thought I finished my probation in Colorado, so I don't even understand how I have a warrant out
That's
there.
the reason why for the warrant. It's a
For
violation.
probation?
It's a violation of probation.
Okay, that's weird. I thought I finished it.
As a fugitive of justice, you do have a right to have an extradition hearing. Because your warrant is a violation of probation, you are not entitled to bond. You do have the right to hire an attorney at your own expense. One would not be appointed to you because these proceedings are civil in nature rather than criminal. The extradition process requires a governor's warrant to be signed by both the governor here in Arizona and the governor in Colorado. That process can take between 60 and 90 days. You do have the right to waive an extradition hearing. If you waive the extradition hearing, again, you would not be eligible for bond. Colorado would have 30 days from tomorrow to pick you up if you did not have any local matters pending. You do have a number of local matters pending, so the 30 days would not start until all of those matters were resolved. Did you have an opportunity to review the?
Yeah, I read it. So if I do the governor's warrant, then I would possibly be able to get a bond hearing?
You're not eligible for bond.
Oh, regardless?
You're not eligible for bond on your fugitive of justice matter because it's a violation of probation. So by statute, you're not entitled to bond on those. Do you have any other questions? Do you know how you would like to proceed?
I guess I might as well just do the 90 days because I'm going to have to fight my other cases regardless anyway.
Okay, so I'm indicating that you are not waiving your rights. So you're going to go through the extradition process. Your first initial hearing will be on November 17th at 1:30. We will get that paperwork ready for you. So I do want to explain that while you are like some of your warrants had bonds on them, I would recommend that you not attempt to try to post bonds because you're being held not bondable on 2 of your matters. And with your fugitive of justice matter, that's probably going to be the one that you're going to be non-bondable until it is resolved. So posting your bond on any of the other matters is not going to secure your release.
So I wouldn't even, there's nothing I can even do about the fugitive of justice one?
There's not. There's no discretion for me. I cannot order a bond for you.
They gave me a bond last time I had to go to Denver. They gave me a bond.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm not sure who gave you a bond. I'm not going to get into that and talk about who did what. I just know what my responsibility is to follow the law as I know it. And when you have a warrant for a violation of probation, that makes you not eligible for bond.
Oh, it's the violation of probation,
Yes.
not the failure to appeal. Okay. Not the fugitive of justice. I mean, it's the actual probation violation.
You have any other questions?
No.
Okay, you may be excused. Thank you. This concludes our 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar. We do stand in recess until 11 a.m.
There's a couple right here. I could open the rest back here. He's going to keep jamming. You guys, you guys. How do you say that name? How did you say it? Avi. Morning.
All right. Stand up, stand up. All right, thank you. Please be seated. Good morning, and you know we're having a printer issue, so okay. She may end up just bringing them in multiple rounds. All right. This is the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar for November 4th, 2025. The court orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the 2 a.m. calendar on the first of the month will also apply to these hearings. I'm going to start with Mr. McGuire. Michael McGuire, if you'll come to the podium, you'll be first. After that, Hazim Eldeleni. Will you please go to the chair? You'll be next. Right here, sir. All right. Sir, may I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Michael McGuire, 11/20/1995.
Thank you. You're here on a new case. The allegations are aggravated assault by the impeding of breathing or strangulation in a domestic relationship. That is a Class 4 felony. Aggravated domestic violence by committing a domestic violence offense within 7 years of 2 other domestic violence offenses. Aggravated assault, and that last one is a Class 5 felony. Aggravated assault in violation of a protection order, that is any assault committed in violation of a protection order, is a Class 6 felony. And simple assault a Class 1 domestic violence misdemeanor. There is probable cause for all of those, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Next court date will be 6 days from now, which is November 10th at 8:30 in the morning. That will be a status conference in the downtown Superior Court. Your preliminary hearing will be November 13th at 8:30. That will be in the same court. The state recommended a $25,000 secured appearance bond in your case. I understand the reason for that recommendation. And this court has to balance multiple factors across many cases. And it is the court's decision in your case that bond is set in the amount of $15,000. You can post that through a bail bondsman. That's what security means. If and when you post it, you will be under pretrial supervision on an electronic ankle monitor. You may have zero contact with the alleged victim. This order supersedes all family court orders, all orders of protection. It does not apply to your children, but you may not violate this order to exercise parenting rights. If you cannot figure out a way to exercise parenting time without violating this order, then you still do not have permission to violate this order. I want to be very, very clear. It's in there. Categorically, no contact with the alleged victim for any purpose. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. You are to obey the terms of any and every order of protection that's been served on you, with the caveat that this order supersedes. So if there is an order of protection out there that says you can have text contact, it stops. If there's a family court order that says you can have certain contact, it stops. You need an order in this case. If you violate this order in any way that is found by a court to be harassment, which can be one text, if a court finds that's harassment, that is aggravated harassment, which is in and of itself a Class 6 felony. If you come in on any new felonies while this case is pending, in this case or any, this situation or any others, you'll be held without bond at this first hearing. So pay very close attention to your release conditions. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Your criminal history and what's currently alleged against you strongly suggests you are dangerous to this victim and that you are likely to violate release conditions. If you prove the court right, then the consequences, even if you're never convicted in this case, the consequences could be severe, at least in the short term. You could be convicted of aggravated harassment or witness tampering, which is also a felony, and be acquitted of what happened yesterday. But if you violate these conditions, there will be consequences. Don't do it. Everything's on your paperwork. If you step to your left, you get a copy.
So I'm not getting released today, right?
Correct. You have to postpone.
I'd like to add that I didn't violate the protection order. She came to my house to get our son.
Okay, so you can take that up with your lawyer. What they're alleging is that it didn't allow in-person contact. So it doesn't matter whether she showed up or not. You're not allowed to have contact with her. You can call the police. You can refuse to go outside. You can refuse to pick up her call. So talk to your lawyer about whether that is a defense. The court is also extremely, if not mostly, concerned about the strangulation allegation. There is significant research that shows that abusers who strangle their victims tend to, at about a 10 times rate, which is still not a majority, but there is a much higher risk that they will eventually kill that person, and a higher risk that they're going to violate release conditions, try to intimidate them, and try to influence their testimony.
Yes.
So that is the reason for the orders. Talk to your lawyer about that. There is probable cause for domestic strangulation.
And I don't know if you read my side or anything.
Yeah, they talked about that, and I'll remind you that this hearing is being audio and video recorded. You have the right to remain silent. So if you choose to talk about what you're being accused of, it could be used against you, either now or at any later hearing, including your trial in this case. Do you understand that warning?
Yes.
All right. The police did say that you had an explanation. The court found it to lack credibility in light of the forensic evidence and your criminal history. So talk to your lawyer about that. The court weighs many factors. As I said, I did not set the $25,000 bond requested by the state. If you had a single felony conviction, I would have set $25,000. You don't. The court set $15,000.
And that's how much would that be? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Many bail bondsmen charge a 10% fee and they want collateral. You'll have to call them back in the tank and ask them what they want. It may depend on your credit worthiness, so you'll have to call them from the phones back there. Or you'll get classified and moved to another building and you'll have access to a phone there. Everything is on your paperwork. Don't violate that. Don't lose that paperwork. You'll be back in court next week.
Thank you.
Mr. El Delamy, Hazim El Delamy, and then Jose Salazar, will you go to the chair? Hello, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth?
Good morning, Your Honor. Hazim Abdelemi, birthday March 12, 1991.
Thank you. You are here in a new case. You were arrested for 2 allegations of theft of a means of transportation. Those are Class 6 felonies. 1 allegation of unlawful imprisonment, and that's a Class 6 felony. Disorderly conduct, a Class 1 domestic violence misdemeanor, and preventing the use of a telephone during an emergency, that's a Class 2 domestic violence misdemeanor. There is probable cause for all of those, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your status conference will be November 10th, which is 6 days from now at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30 in the same court. Bond is set in your case at $5,000 that is secured. If you post it, you will be on an ankle monitor under the supervision of pretrial services. You are to stay categorically away from the alleged victim and the complaining witness in this case. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Obey any order of protection or order against harassment that may be served on you. And to make it very clear, you may not respond to any contact from the alleged victim. The alleged victim cannot give you permission to violate the court's order. As I told the prior defendant, if you violate it in any single way that could be harassment, it's aggravated harassment if it's in violation of my order. And you could be booked for a new felony, in which case I would hold you without bail under Arizona law at this hearing. Talk to your lawyer about that. You'll be back in court next week. Categorically, no contact with the alleged victim.
I just want to explain something to you, Your Honor. I was wondering if I get like OR or something.
No, sir. You're at very high risk of future domestic violence against this victim, and there is ample reason to believe that you are likely to violate release conditions.
No,
talk to your lawyer about
she let me borrow, and then my sister, she just committed suicide like last year. You know, and I'm trying to catch up. I'm a single father. You know, she let me borrow the car last year.
I understand. Mr. Edzelemi, there is a long probable cause statement in your car about that you state that she frequently gave you permission to use her car and changed her mind. My previous statements stand. You will get discovery through your lawyer. The court believes you're at high risk of violating release conditions and attempting to intimidate or retaliate against this victim. Everything's on your paperwork. Step to your left, you can get a copy. Mr. Salazar, Jose Salazar. And Samuel Villalpando, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Jose Salazar, December 3rd, 1988.
Thank you. You're in a new case. You were arrested for aggravated domestic violence, a Class 6 felony, and criminal damage, a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause for both of those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a status conference, November 10th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. That is this coming Monday, with a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30 in the same court. Your bond is $5,000. It is secured. If you post it, you'll be on an ankle monitor under the supervision of pretrial services. That is to keep you away from this location and the alleged victims. You will also alcohol test to prove that you're not drinking while the case is pending. Absolutely no contact with the alleged victims or the complaining witness. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. You can do a civil standby to collect belongings, but you may not otherwise go to that location on your own. You have to bring a Phoenix officer with you on a civil standby to keep the peace. Everything else is on your paperwork. If you step to your left, you get a copy. Mr. Villalpando, we go to the podium. Is that Tricia Yazzie? We go to the chair, please. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Samuel Villalpando Jr., 1/28/1981.
Thank you. You're on a new case. You were arrested for aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol, a Class 4 felony, driving on a suspended license, and simple DUI. Those are Class 1 misdemeanors. Also, 2 allegations of possession of an open container of alcohol in a vehicle. Those are Class 2 misdemeanors. There is probable cause for all of those, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference, November 10th, which is this Monday at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. The preliminary hearing, November 13th at 8:30 in the same court. Your bond is $2,500. It is secured. As I've noted in my order, you may not drive any motor vehicle at any time. It appears you lack any legal authority to drive right now, but even if you get it back on these facts, the court prohibits you from driving. It appears you have an alcohol problem. You were convicted of extreme DUI, which is what lost you your license in the first place. No contact with the officers who arrested you, no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription. If you step to your left, you get a copy of that paper.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Yazzie, they've got your paperwork right there. Ms. Yazzie, Tricia Yazzie, and then Jasmine Castillo, will you please go to the chair? Hi, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Tricia Jean Yazzie, July 12th, 1991.
All right, thanks. You're here on a new case and a probation warrant. In the new case, you're arrested for possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. You're also here on a probation warrant. There was already a warrant out for your arrest because you failed to appear at a revocation arraignment on August 21st, and there was a warrant put out for that. So you already have a lawyer in probation court. You will have a lawyer in your new case. Your next court date in the new case is going to be this coming Monday, November 10th. Looks like I can set both at the same time. So in the probation and the new case, your next court date is this Monday, November 10th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. And in the new case only, you need a preliminary hearing. So we're scheduling that for November 13th at 8:30 in the morning. In the probation case, your bond is $750 secured. In the new case, it is $50 secured to make you eligible for credit for time in custody. That is $800 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions, do not miss your court dates, call your PO within 72 hours of hitting the street. If you step to your left, they've got your paperwork. For Jasmine Castillo and then Cornelius Phillips. We go to the chair, please. Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Jasmine Castillo, 10/31/04.
Thank you. You're here on a probation warrant. You're on probation for a Class 6 felony, and there was, pardon me, a petition to revoke your probation filed on August 21st. It alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. You'll get a copy of that from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing this Monday, November 10th. 8:30 in the morning in the downtown probation court. That address will be on your paperwork. Your bond is $250. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions and call your PO within 72 hours. The number is going to be on your paperwork. If you step to your left, she has that for you.
Okay, can I ask a question? Am I getting released?
Only if you post bond. If you don't bond out, you stay in custody at least until next Monday. Okay. Everything's on your paperwork. Mr. Phillips, Cornelius Phillips, and then Eliana Juan, will you please go to the chair?
The victim statement is the first one, the first offending.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Hi, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth?
Cornelius Alexander Phillips, 5182.
May 182? Okay, thank you. You're here on a probation warrant in your Class 6 felony case. Looks like on October 22nd, there was a petition to revoke your probation filed. It alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5. You'll get a copy of it from your lawyer, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is this Monday, November 10th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown probation court. That's a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing. I'm just affirming the bond the probation judge gave you, which is $250 secured. If you post it, comply with all your conditions and call your PO within 3 days of getting out. If you don't post it, you'll be in court on Monday. If you step to your left, they'll give you a copy of that paperwork. Good luck, sir. Ms. Juan, Eliana Juan. Hi, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Eliana Juan, 01/21/2000.
All right, thank you. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants, and they both issued October 13th after petitions to revoke your probation were filed, alleging that you violated term 3. You'll get a copy of that from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your court date in probation court is this Monday, November 10th, 8:30 in the morning in the downtown probation court. The address is on your paperwork. I'm affirming the bond that the probation judge gave you. It's a total of $300. It's $150 per case. So secured. You could use a bail bondsman. You have to post 300 to get out. If you do, do not miss your court date and call your PO within 72 hours of hitting the street.
What's the next court date?
Monday. Today
I know,
is
but what is
Tuesday,
it?
6 days from now.
What is the name of the court date?
It's a revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing. It's possible because if you make a deal with the state, it could resolve that day. If the case gets dismissed, it could resolve that day.
To redo probation?
If they reinstate you, which is common in your type of case, that's up to the court.
Okay.
You can also have a bench trial to the judge to try to prove you did not violate, or the state has to prove that you did. Anyway, talk to your lawyer, but many cases in probation court resolve the same day, which is why we set it as a possible disposition hearing. It just means you could, if you took a deal with the state, you could go straight to disposition. Talk to your lawyer will explain everything. If you go to Mr. Stamper, and then Jordan Rodriguez. We go to the chair. Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Aaron Michael Stamper, 08/23/1998.
Thank you. You're hearing a new case. You were arrested for aggravated assault on a first responder, which is a class 4 felony, resisting arrest, a class 6 felony, and domestic violence, disorderly conduct, which is a class 1 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for all of those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. The next court date is the status conference in 2 weeks. It is November the 19th, which is a Wednesday, 2 weeks from tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning, with the preliminary hearing November 21st at 8:30. Those are in the downtown Superior Court, and the address will be on your paperwork. Now, in your case, the domestic violence charge is the misdemeanor, and the assault on the cop that's alleged is the felony. So I'm going to put you on an ankle monitor. I'm not going to make you post a bond. The purpose of the ankle monitor is because at the point that somebody is engaged in enough domestic violence that it is alleged, people can hear someone screaming, "Help me now, get off me," and the person's disheveled and the left side of her face is swollen. The court is very concerned about domestic violence, as very likely are your neighbors. You can't have any contact with any complainants, nor with this alleged victim. As I told the previous defendant, this order does not apply to any children you may have with this person, but you do not get to violate it in order to see your children. So no contact with the alleged victim. Apparently, she did tell police she does not want prosecution. That is not up to her. That is up to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office at this point in time. And many cases go forward without the willing cooperation of alleged victims. That is why domestic violence victims often have to be subpoenaed into court, and sometimes the cops are sent to go and get them and bring them to court, because domestic violence abusers tend to intimidate and threaten to retaliate against their victims. And that is something this court will not tolerate. Do not have contact with her while the case is pending. You are presumed innocent. Doesn't mean you're entitled to violate the court's orders. You may not possess weapons while the case is pending. Weapons and domestic violence are such a bad mix. There's a federal law that says if you even take a misdemeanor DV conviction, you don't get to possess firearms. No alcohol. Alcohol also drives a ton of domestic violence. No drugs without a valid prescription. If you get served with an order of protection, you have to comply with that as well. I will just stress one more time, because this is being recorded. She cannot invite you to violate this order. That is not a defense or an excuse. And this order supersedes any family court orders you may have or any orders of protection, meaning you need a changed order in this case if you're going to have contact with her. You can talk to your lawyer about that. I'm not making you post a bond because the DV is, as I recall, you've got some DV history. That's my recollection, because I gave some real thought to putting a bond on you. It's like DV day today in this court. I've got, not yet. I've got 2018, you were convicted of domestic violence assault. 2018, you did 1 day jail, disorderly conduct. I don't know if that was DV. Then you did 6 days jail for assault and criminal trespass. Again, not specifically listed as DV. And you have a prior felony. You got revoked. It looks like probation revoked, and it looks like you finished it in jail. You didn't go to DOC. But that says in 2019, you couldn't do probation. You look like a bad candidate for all of that. So let me just stress. An ankle monitor is the best result you're going to get from me. with this kind of case, these kinds of red flags for DV and witness intimidation issues. So if you want to say something, I'll let you, but you have the right to remain silent. And so saying things that might incriminate you to try not to get me to put an ankle monitor on you is probably bad math. But if you want to do that, fine. I'm not putting a bond on you, at least not yet, unless you say something that makes me think that's necessary. But as far as not putting an ankle monitor on you, no. Many red flags in your case and a risk assessment score because of your priors that recommends maximum release conditions. So odds are high you cannot convince me not to put an ankle monitor on you.
I accept
Do you
the
want to
ankle
try?
monitor.
All right.
I willingly accept it, and I have no problem with that.
Right.
Can I please say one sentence?
Yes.
When I get out, I grew up in, I have no family. My family is dead. So when I go out, I have to find a halfway house or some sort of program. Since I was living under that address, I no longer cannot, and I understand
there's some shelter info, there's some community resource info.
I was just going to ask you for some help, maybe that you can get these officers to give me some information before I'm released.
Talk to a pretrial, and they may have a sheet they can give you, but it's my understanding at the release desk, they've got some sheets that list community resources for people who don't have anywhere to go, and they just got ordered not to go where they live. You can do a civil standby to pick up belongings, by the way. You have to call the non-emergency line at Phoenix PD, say, I need a civil standby. They want to see it on your order, so don't lose your order. And then they'll send a cop to go with you, keep the peace while you gather your stuff. Everything will be on your paperwork, and you should hopefully be out by dinner time. Oh, she's got a sheet. Oh, I didn't know we had him in court. Great. Officer, can we give them that too, please? Thank you.
All right, you won't regret this. I'm actually surprised and grateful that you're doing this. I know I do not deserve it.
No. I don't decide whether you did it. I'm going with probabilities. And the felony against you, again, is against the cops. It's not against the alleged victim. You may well have gotten a bond if there was a felony alleged against that victim, the DV victim. Not that the cops are victims on the ag assault. And I don't want to discount that. But the odds that you're going to track them down, try to intimidate them, retaliate against them or something are very low. The odds that you might do that to the misdemeanor victim, I think, are elevated. That's why I'm releasing you on an ankle monitor, because I'm much less concerned about you running around assaulting random cops, or specifically these cops. I'm worried about the misdemeanor victim. So that's why you're not getting a bond. So just so you know, if there was a felony alleged in the DV context with your history, you would probably be getting a bond. So I'm looking at some semi-objective parameters for you, and I think you can be successful on this if you want to. You are presumed innocent, as is everyone accused here. Just don't violate release conditions. Most everybody should be very concerned about not taking a felony conviction. Everything else should be secondary, because that's a life-changing situation, just even in terms of getting a job in the future. So keep your nose clean, comply with your release conditions, do everything you can to comply. You'll go see your lawyer. In 2 weeks, your lawyer will give you advice. All right, everything's on your paperwork. She's got that for you. Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez? And then Jason Dixon, we go to the chair. Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
Jordan Rodriguez, March 21st, 2006.
Thanks. You're here on a new case. You got arrested for aggravated assault as a Class 3 felony, which is with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, which the court does find for purposes of probable cause that a beer bottle qualifies. Also, assault as a Class 1 misdemeanor. These are alleged as domestic violence offenses. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your court date is in 2 weeks. It's a status conference, November 19th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. The preliminary hearing, November 21st at 8:30 in the same court. Now, your case is interesting, and I've gave it some thought, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to release you to pretrial services. You have to check in with them. I'm not going to make you wear an ankle monitor right now, because this is against your dad. It's not against a girlfriend or significant other where people have the kinds of mental control, domination, and ownership issues that operate in domestic violence cases. Also, I note the police said your dad did not want to see you arrested for this. That being said, as I told somebody else, it's not up to him. It's up to the county attorney right now. So I'm also going to give you a hybrid order, which basically says you can go back there and you can live there If your dad consents, if he continues to consent, he can revoke that 4 days from now if he wants to, and that's in the paperwork. So if he tells you to get out in 3 days, you get out, or you're violating this order. You could be arrested just for that. It's a misdemeanor to violate my order in any way. It's a felony to violate it in a way that is a victim contact that is harassment. So talk to your lawyer about that. So I'm kind of leaving it in your dad's hands because the police say that he told them he did not want you to be arrested. That being said, you're 19 and you have no business drinking. So also you are going to alcohol test to prove that you're not drinking. They didn't tell me they couldn't find any juvenile history for you either, it looks like you've literally never been arrested before. So I am factoring that in as well, that hopefully you can control yourself, that you know your ability to live there rides solely on your dad's agreement that you continue to be there, and that all he has to do is call the police once for you just standing in the living room against his wishes, and you're going to get arrested. So if you get served with an order of protection, you have to comply with that as well. Oh, and if your dad does not want to have contact with you, like if you call him from the jail and say, can I have a ride? And he says, I changed my mind, I don't want to talk to you. Well, you just got uninvited. You're going to have to stay somewhere else. You have to provide proof. But I'm not going to make you wear an ankle monitor because it looks like you've never been arrested and because this is a parent, not a significant other. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you're going to get an envelope about how to report to pretrial services. Keep it with you. When you get out, you have to call them. It's mostly to keep track of you. Where are you? Did you get kicked out of your dad's, etc.? Everything is on your paperwork. They'll set up the alcohol testing as well to make sure that you are not drinking, because that does appear to have played a part in what led you here today. Okay? All right, everything's on your paperwork. You step to your left.
Thank you so much.
Good luck, sir. Mr. Dixon?
1 moment, it's wheelchair.
Oh, okay. And after Mr. Dixon will be Ramon Lopez.
What if I'm off the side podium?
Okay. Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Jason Robert Dixon,
Which date of birth, sir?
12/21/1984. Sorry about that.
No problem. All right, sir, you're in court because there was a warrant issued for you a long time ago. Well, yeah, that's not true. I was thinking of somebody else. Yours was issued not too long ago, just because we couldn't find you. We didn't have an address, but it's an older case. So the charges are possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. The alleged offense date is July 19th of this year. This is from the Peoria Police Department, and it's now been formally charged. That's all that changed, is it got formally charged, and we didn't have a working address for you. So I'm going to appoint a lawyer for you, and I'm going to release you to pretrial services. So your court dates are a status conference November 19th, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow, and a preliminary hearing November 21st. Those are in the downtown Superior Court, and the address is on your paperwork. And I'm willing to release you to pretrial services. It just means you have to report in with where you are, and they'll help you keep track of court dates. Can you do that and come to your court dates?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then you are released to pretrial services. They're going to give you that paperwork, and just don't lose that as you move through the process, because the envelope contains the instructions about how to call after you get out. Okay.
Okay, ma'am, I have a question. So I'm being released today?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so just don't lose that paperwork. It tells you where to go in 2 weeks, and the envelope is how to call pretrial. They're just going to have you check in with them. It's very easy. Usually, in my experience, which isn't direct, but we probably have you call them twice, 3 times maybe. It's hard to say, but I'm just trying to say it's not hard. Don't dodge it. It's not hard. It's just to help keep track of you, okay? All right, if you just keep that with you, you'll be all done. Good luck, sir.
All right, thank you.
Then Jonathan Rada, will you please go to the chair? All right, right here, when you're ready, sir. Are you Mr. Rodriguez?
No, Ramon Lopez.
I am completely lost. Okay, there we go, Ramon Lopez, then Mr. Rita. All right, sir, can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Ramon Lopez, April 26, 2001.
All right, thanks. You're here on a new case. You got arrested for unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle. It's a Class 5 felony. I'm not appointing a lawyer for you because it looks like you don't financially qualify. And I'm not putting a bond on you.
But,
How many people do you support on that income?
my son and child support and just myself.
Okay. All right, let's reprint for, I'm going to go ahead and appoint a lawyer for you.
Okay.
Okay. Your status, okay, so, sorry. You got picked up for unlawful flight, and there is probable cause for that. It's a Class 5 felony. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your status conference is November 19th, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. Preliminary hearing November 21 at 8:30. Now, I don't love what you are accused of, but I have been trying to weigh various factors, which include how likely do I think someone is going to come to court or commit new offenses, and what are they accused of? And what you're accused of is not good, it's very dangerous.
Yes.
And it's very deliberate, is what they're accusing you of. That being said, looking at the totality of it, it does appear to be, if you did it, because you are presumed innocent, very stupid, panicky decision trying to avoid a driving on suspended license ticket and your car being impounded, and it turned into felony flight, which is a type of case I see a lot. People make stupid, panicky decisions and end up doing something much worse than what they were about to get arrested for. So you have a prior, which I did take into account. It was aggravated DUI, which is not a good kind of prior, 2022, but it looks like you did your time and you completed probation, which tends to suggest you know how to comply with court order. The state did recommend a bond for you, but I'm not going to order that. It looks like you have a job, a decent job, so on these facts, I think you're likely to comply. So I'm going to release you to pretrial services, which I don't necessarily do on unlawful flight. It depends on what they're alleging. You know, you go 70 miles an hour down a residential street to avoid the cops. I don't know. They are alleging some scary driving, etc. Like I said, I don't love what you're accused of. What I'm trying to decide is, do I think you can keep your nose clean and come to court? I do. I hope I'm not wrong. So pretrial supervision, you just report into them. It's not hard. No weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid license. I don't recall, because they were saying that it had an expired tag. I don't recall if they allege whether your license was suspended or not. If it's not, I will let you drive. No, here you go. He knew his license was suspended. It's a crime every time you do it, every time. So, but it's a misdemeanor. It's not a felony. So talk to your lawyer about all of this. You have a bad problem right now, Mr. Lopez, and I hope you don't make it worse by violating release conditions. Your bad problem is this is no longer probation eligible, meaning you have a prior. If you go to trial and lose in this case, it is mandatory prison. I'm just trying to do some math for you so you show up. Now, does the system as a whole think that you probably need to go to prison for this? I bet it doesn't, but frankly, everything's going to be in the hands of the county attorney. Because if they don't put probation on the table, it's not on the table. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
They literally have to make you a probation officer. And if you look like a lousy candidate for probation, they won't. Of course, you can go to trial and fight this and try to beat it because you're presumed innocent. But if you want to try to get probation and look like a good candidate, you need to show up, keep your nose clean, do not pick up any new charges.
Yes.
All right, everything's on your paperwork. If you step to your left, you'll be all done.
Thank you.
Then I need Mr. Reda, please, and then Crystal Guillen. All right. Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Jonathan Reda, March 3rd, 1995.
Okay, thanks. You're on a warrant from the Justice Court, the Hassayampa Justice Court, which I'm pretty sure is Wickenburg, a.k.a. next to Lake Pleasant. That's because you have been accused, look like it's predisposition, accused of the petty offense of watercraft speeding. And this warrant issued July 1, 2025, after some stuff went on in June, and then he didn't show up. And this is a 2020 case. And I'm not sure if you owe them money or not. Their bond is so very specific, it makes me think you owe them money, and that's the bond is from, but it says the bond they wanted was $176.50. I'm not going to make you post that. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance and tell you to go November 19th at 9 in the morning. It's the Hasa Yampa Justice Court. This is a petty offense. You literally cannot get jail time for it unless you screw up and get yourself arrested on a warrant. So I don't hold people on petty offenses like ever, pretty much, because this is your punishment. Go to court. Wouldn't you rather go to court? Don't blow them off. They're going to send you angry letters before it turns into a warrant. Keep your address updated so you get the angry letters and you can deal with it before it turns into a warrant. They're the only creditor that can have you arrested, so don't lose track. Visa cannot have you arrested.
Okay.
These guys can, so just show up, okay? That's all I want you to do.
Could I pay before my court date?
Call them because they will have a walk-in day or something. Just call the court. They'll give you instructions. If you just owe them money and you want to try to clear it out, you're absolutely entitled to do that. Just make sure you get something in writing from them confirming that they cleared the court date, because what I have seen happen in these lower courts is they'll get the money and they'll forget to clear the court date. So make sure you get some confirmation in writing that the court date I gave you has been vacated, because they won't check. If you're not there on the 19th, they won't go, oh, this guy paid on the 10th. They'll just go, where's this Rita guy? Okay, warrant. They will not check.
Okay.
So, word to the wise. But everything's on your paperwork, and if you want to try to get a day's worth of credit from them, I always recommend people ask. But by the time you get out of here, you'll have been over 12 hours in jail for sure. Maybe they'll give you a day of credit if that's beneficial. If you have the money to pay, you can also just call them and get it done.
Okay.
All right, good luck, sir. Ms. Guillen? And then Adam Barella, we go to the chair. Hi, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Crystal Gann, 1992, February 28th.
All right. Thanks. You're here on a city court warrant from Goodyear. It's for criminal speeding. It's a class 3 misdemeanor. This is post-conviction as well, which is almost always failure to pay. Your arraignment hearing is going to be November 19th, which is 2 weeks from now at 1 in the afternoon in the Goodyear City Court. The address is on your paperwork. I'm going to release you as well, because this is the lowest class of misdemeanor. So it's the last crime you can commit before you get to petty offense. And you've already been convicted. You just owe them money. And in general, it's my belief that most people who could pay would have to avoid this. If you can't do that math, and if you don't go on this court date, which is November 19th, we'll see it, and you might get a small bond next time just for not going. We need you to go.
Okay.
Show up. Even if you don't have money to pay them, you got to show up. You're practically in the same boat, no pun intended, as the boat speeding guy. Go to court and talk to them about what you owe, okay? If it's just failure to pay, I will usually release people on this kind of case, because it just means you don't have money. I'm not going to hold you because you don't have money, but I will put a bond on you if you don't go to court, okay? Everything's there. If you step to your left, get your paperwork.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you. Oh, great. Hey, can we, is the interpreter able to stay for the last one? Or, because I could, if you need to go, then I could do the first two, and then we call language line. But if you're able to stay, I'll finish my ORs and then do the Spanish.
Yes, Your Honor, the interpreter will be standing by.
Okay, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. All right, then let me go ahead with Adam Barella. Pardon me, and then Richard Fernandez, please. Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Adam Arthur Barella, 1485.
Okay, thanks. You got arrested for possessing narcotic drugs, a class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a class 6. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date will be a status conference, November 19th, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow, and a preliminary hearing, November 21st at 8:30. You qualify for release on your own recognizance. I'm not showing any felony priors for you, so just comply with your conditions. Don't go back to the scene of the alleged crime, and don't possess weapons, don't possess drugs without a valid prescription, don't miss your court date. Okay?
I stay across the street from the place that I was arrested.
Okay, just don't go back to the location you were arrested? All right. And are you dressed out because they didn't like your clothes, or do you have a city case?
No, they just, I don't know.
Clothing issue? Okay, that's fine. Okay, I just want to make sure you're not being held in a different case, because then I would maybe not be doing you any favors, but okay. Then don't lose your paperwork. It tells you where to go, okay? All right, thank you, sir. All right, then Mr. Fernandez, after that, Hazel Batras, or?
Your Honor, the next, individual is being held on a city bill.
Oh, thank you. This guy, Fernandez? Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm not gonna hold it against you.
Okay.
It's just a data point, okay? I'm not, okay,
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
worried. Okay, so first, give me your full name and date of birth.
Richard Fernandez, 7/26/1981.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a new case for driving unsuspended. It's a class 1 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for it. But first, do you know what, when's your next court date in Phoenix?
For this one?
No, for the Phoenix one, not mine.
I'm gonna bond out.
What's that?
I'm bonding
You
out.
think you can bond out?
I am.
Fine, good.
I
Okay,
am.
okay, then I'm not gonna add any money on this one because it's a new case.
My wife.
They accuse you of having a bunch of suspensions, and there seems to be good evidence, all of that, but it's a misdemeanor and it's a brand-new case. I'm not gonna put a bond on you. Show up and deal with it. Eventually, the judges just start giving people 6 months every time in these driving unsuspended.
Okay.
I don't know if your other case is probably that too.
No.
But go to court November 18th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's the West
Yes, Your
McDowell
Honor.
Justice Court. It'll be on your paperwork. Like I said, I'm releasing you because it's a brand-new case.
Thank you.
You're ordered not to drive without a valid prescription. Don't miss your court dates, all right? Everything's on your paperwork. If you step to your left, you get a...
God bless.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Batras, and then Jessica John. Will you go to the chair? Hi, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Hazel Beatrice, 1582.
Okay, thank you. You are here on a new case. You got arrested for possession of dangerous drugs, a class 4 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a status conference, November 19th, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow, and your preliminary hearing will be November 21st at 8:30. Those are in the downtown Superior Court, and the address is on your paperwork. You qualify for release on your own recognizance. Looks like you don't have any criminal history that we know about, so just comply with your conditions, show up, and your lawyer will give you advice when you get there, okay? Get your paperwork. Good luck, miss. Okay, and then I've got one more, yeah, she can go ahead and come in. Sorry, I'm on another screen, so I don't have the name right in front of me. Give me half a second here, ma'am. Finish up what I'm doing.
One more after this, and then the LEC.
Sorry?
One more after this, and then LEC.
Oh, did I miss somebody?
No. We have her.
Oh, I think, and then Jessica John. No, you are Jessica John, then Petra Schwabach. Okay. Hi, ma'am. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
Jessica John, 4/12/1993.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a new case. You got arrested for misdemeanor assault. It's a class 1 misdemeanor. It is a domestic violence misdemeanor. I'm not appointing a lawyer for you because you don't financially qualify. And your arraignment hearing is going to be November 18th at 9 in the morning. That is 2 weeks from today in the Santan Justice Court, which I think is in Chandler, but the address is on your paperwork. And in your case, I'm also going to give you a no uninvited contact order because this is another one where I don't think you have much of any criminal history, and let me look. I forget because you come up pre-trial. You got an extreme DUI in 21, and I think that was it. Okay. All right. So in this case, you can't go to the scene of the alleged crime, which I think was like a Circle K or a QT.
Circle K.
It's a Circle K. Don't go there. No weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. No alcohol. Those are standard DV orders. If you get served with any order of protection, comply with as well. You can't have uninvited contact with the alleged victim. That was it. They described the video they watched, and it just seemed like, I don't know, something that I could see people easily reconciling with, and you don't have any criminal history for this. So the alleged victim has to consent. If he does not consent, or if he revokes his consent while the case is pending, you have to find another place to stay. You can't, you guys live together, right? Yeah, you can't stay where he stays. It's all on your paperwork. That's if he does not consent. No contact with any witnesses. Don't talk to him about the case or try to influence his testimony in the case. That's a felony. Plus, the police describe a video. If they have that video, doesn't matter what the witness says. The video would appear to speak for itself if they've got that video. So just comply with your conditions. Don't miss your court dates, okay? All right, if you step to your left, you get a copy. Thank you. All right, Ms. Schwebach? Yeah, hi. Hi there. If you want to sneak in, it's no problem. Okay. If you want to sneak around there, it's no problem. Okay. All right. Okay, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Yeah, Patricia Schwebach, November 3rd, 1993.
Okay, thanks. You're hearing a new case. You got booked in for aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer. That's a Class 4 felony, and theft of services, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for those. I'm not appointing a lawyer for you because you don't financially qualify. You have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense or to represent yourself. I'm going to give you 2 court dates. The first, you know what? I forgot to do something.
May I say that?
Not yet. I think, and by the way, I'm probably likely to cover what you're talking about.
Okay, very good.
So give me 1 second. I am going to need to reprint this. So, okay. All righty. So, court dates, November 19th at 8:30 in the morning. That's 2 weeks from tomorrow. That's a status conference. Then, preliminary hearing is November 21st at 8:30. Those are in the downtown Superior Court. Now, and it's going to be in my written order, so I want to just confirm in court. Are you a registered nurse?
I am.
Do you live in Albuquerque?
I do.
Okay. So I just wanted to note. So what I note is you have 0 criminal history.
Yes.
Albuquerque is right next door. You appear to have the means to at least get in a car and drive here, although that's a day and a half, and, well, 2 full days of driving for most people. And it's a cheap plane ticket. So I'm going to release you because I think you'll deal with your court. I don't think you'll run from it. I think you don't want a warrant, a felony warrant in the system. You've got other things. And this type of case, I'm not prohibiting you from going to the airport. If they prohibit you, that's between you and them. So I don't know if you got trespassed out of the airport or not. I'm not doing it. You're absolutely prohibited from drinking. Drinking appears to have led you here today. And so no drinking, no contact with anybody at the restaurant. The theft allegation is for the restaurant, failing to pay the bill at the restaurant. I'm already releasing you. Don't say things that can incriminate you. I'm just saying that's what it pertains to. The assault is on top. And you can talk to a lawyer, but you can ask, as long as you do it well in advance, to either bump out that court date or appear maybe virtually. It's up to the judge in your case, especially for a status conference. If it were me, I wouldn't make somebody fly here for a status conference if they'll appear virtually, but that is really up to the judge who gets your case. So talk to a lawyer, or if you're representing yourself, you can figure out how to file by mail or file from out of state to ask to bump that. You can also potentially call the court number that I gave you and say, how do I request a continuance, or how do I request, because you need not only a continuance, but a bump on the right to travel, because I did give you, that's the thing I forgot, is to give you permission to go back and forth to New Mexico so long as you return by your next court date. But I only have the power between now and your next court date. Then it becomes the trial court's question. So you want to get we call it travel permission, but I guess permission to reside in New Mexico while the case is pending. And they can give you ongoing permission if they want. And I just don't know a lot about you other than I'm willing to take your word that you are an RN because you have 0 criminal history. And on the facts on your case, it reads, it seems it fits. So just comply with your release condition. Don't miss your court dates, and stay in touch with the court so that if you're having an issue with the court date, you can resolve it before there's a warrant issued. All right. Everything is on your paperwork. If you step to the left, thank you. You'll be all done. Thank you. All right, then, yes, and so let's do Mr. Silva. All right, can the interpreter hear us?
Yes, the interpreter is present, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Silva, may I have your full name and date of birth?
Francisco Javier Varela Silva, 23 de noviembre del 85.
Francisco Javier Varela Silva, November 23rd, 1985.
All right, thank you. Mr. Silva, you have been arrested on criminal charges that date back quite a few years now. The charges are 2 counts of aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Those are class 4 felonies. And the incident is alleged to have happened on September 19th of 2019, somewhere in the city of Phoenix. But you will get a copy of the charges and police reports from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a status conference, November 10th, which is this Monday at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. Your preliminary hearing is November 13th at 8:30 in the same court. I am affirming the bond in your case, which is $250 secured. If you post that, then you will be released to pretrial services with alcohol testing and monitoring. And I note that part of the reason for that is they allege that you were driving a car, or you were in control of a car when you were arrested, and you do not have the right to drive. So, do not drive without a valid license, no alcohol. Everything's on your paperwork. You step to your left, I'll give you a copy. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then Mr. Olguin, and then we'll get the courtroom ready for the last one. Hi, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth?
Romano Holguín Hernández, 05-25 del 88.
Roman Holguín Hernández, 05-25-88.
All right, thank you. You have been arrested in a new case with aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol. It is a class 4 felony, and assault as a class 2 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date will be on November 19th, which is 2 weeks from now at 8:30 in the morning. That is a status conference. Your preliminary hearing is scheduled for November 21st at 8:30 in the morning. The address for the court is on your paperwork. It is in downtown Phoenix. I'm going to release you to pretrial services with alcohol testing. You may not have any contact with the alleged assault victims nor the officers who arrested you. You may not possess or consume any alcohol while the case is pending. And you may not drive any motor vehicle at any time. You do not have the legal right. You already face some serious consequences in this case if you are convicted. You will make it far worse if you miss a court date or violate release conditions, especially by committing new crimes. Everything is on your paperwork. If you step to your left, I'll give you a copy. Thank you. All right, so we'll just get the courtroom cleared here. And all right, thank you. All right, sir, may I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Noé Valdemar Pérez López, del enero 25 del 2004.
Noé Valdemar Perez Lopez, January 25th, 2004.
All right, thank you. And then the appearance of the prosecutor, please.
Dawn Sauer on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Perez Lopez, you have been arrested on new allegations that are sexual conduct with a minor under the age of 15, that is a Class 2 felony, and molestation of a child under the age of 15, that is also a Class 2 felony. Based on what the police have presented, there is probable cause for those offenses, so I am appointing a lawyer for you, and I'm scheduling your next 2 court dates. Those will be a status conference, November 10th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, which is this Monday. Your preliminary hearing will be November 13th at 8:30 in the morning. The court address in downtown Phoenix will be on your paperwork. Before the court sets conditions of bail or release, I'm going to hear from the prosecutor. Go ahead, ma'am.
Your Honor, the state is...
I apologize, I caught it. Go ahead, ma'am.
The state is seeking a $250,000 cash-only bond based on the defendant's conduct in this case. The state believes that he is an extreme danger to the victim. There's also mention of a sibling, which presumably is also of a young age. The Form 4 outlines multiple forms of sexual abuse. It mentions several disclosures. It mentions a consistent basis. The victim is quite young, only 7 years old, and the state is further concerned that the defendant made admissions, but in these admissions blamed the victim, which indicates the defendant may not understand how wrong these actions are and how unlawful they are. The state is concerned he is a continuous threat to the victim, to the sibling, and any other children that he may come into contact with. For those reasons, the state is seeking the $250,000 cash-only bond. In addition, if posted, electronic monitoring, no contact with the victim, no returning to the scene where another sibling resides, and no internet.
All right. Mr. Perez Lopez, I've considered what's been alleged against you, the recommendations of the prosecutor, and what appears to be a lack of any other known criminal history. And based on all of that, the court sets bail in your case at $150,000. That is cash only. If you post that, then by law, you must be on an electronic ankle monitor because you're accused of sexually motivated crimes against children. You may not have any contact with any child while the case is pending, including any others that you may have. You are not to go to the scene of the alleged crime. Absolutely no contact with the alleged victim or the complaining witness, which is the alleged victim's mother. You may not possess any weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription. You may not possess or consume any alcohol. I'm not prohibiting no internet at this time because there is case law in Arizona that states that probable cause for molestation of children is not automatically probable cause for child sexual exploitation material. And there's no real allegation of the use of the internet for that purpose. So I'm not ordering that at this time. And Mr. Lopez, part of the court's order acknowledges that there is a strong weight of evidence alleged against you. They allege a sufficient confession, that the penalties that are faced by a person convicted of doing this to a child under the age of 12 are extremely severe and might give any person a motive to flee even if they knew they were innocent. So that court has weighed that in as well in terms of setting a cash bail. So you can speak to your lawyer about that, but you stay in the jail unless and until you deposit the money. And if you do deposit the money and are released, then you must be on the ankle monitor which will be explained to you at that time. All right, everything's going to be on your paperwork. If you step to your left, you can hand your headphones to the officers. Thank you. Okay, and thank you so much to the interpreter. Super appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I just want to make sure I didn't change it again. I had forgotten the ankle monitor, which sometimes I do, but I always catch it in court, I'm glad to say. Alrighty. Okay. Did you have anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Oh, please, you're welcome to just,
Thank you.
we are
I didn't want to interrupt you.
semi in recess. Thanks. Finishing this house call.
Oh, I think this is the last page. Oh. I got a computer, I go for a sec.
There's a lot of DE on this calendar. I just realized this last one is too. Yeah, sorry. Just trying not to be any later than I was. All right, so, officer, I've got, Mr. Bless You Harry, as a house call, Kara Bear and Clarence Ferguson. Are they each not physically present in court because they've been isolated by the sheriff's office for being a potential risk to themselves or others? All right.
And disruptive, very disruptive.
And disruptive. Okay, thank you. I do have an affirmative answer from detention staff, so I will see all of those three people in-house immediately after this recording to conduct these initial appearances. I will advise Mr. Bless U. Harry, born 6/9/1989, that he's here on a new case and a probation warrant. In the new case, he got booked in for drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony. I did not find probable cause for it, so I'm giving him a lawyer and 2 court dates. That's a status conference, November 19 at 8:30 in the morning, and a preliminary hearing, November 21 at 8:30. That'll be in the downtown Superior Court, and they'll let him know that if the case does get filed and he's not there, there could be a warrant issued for his arrest. But he's otherwise ordered released in that case without any further conditions. In the probation case, he is on felony probation here in Maricopa County. There was a petition to revoke his probation filed on October 14th that alleges he violated terms 3 and 5. So I'm giving him a lawyer for that and a court date of this Monday, November 10th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown probation court for a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing. And I'm just affirming the $250 secured appearance bond set for him by the probation court with release conditions I will go over with him. Kara Marie Bear, born 7/22/85, started a new case. She was arrested for aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. That's a class 4 felony. I forgot to put the note in here. An aggravated assault on a first responder, that's a class 4 felony. Also interfering with judicial proceedings as a class 1 misdemeanor by failing to obey a court order. And there's probable cause for all of those. I am appointing a lawyer for her. Her status conference will be November 10th at 8:30 in the morning and a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30. Those will be in the downtown Superior Court. Based on what's been alleged against her and her criminal history, the court is inclined to set bail in the amount of $2,500 secured with written conditions I will go over with her, which includes no contact with any alleged victim, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, and no driving without a valid license. Clarence Michael Ferguson, born 10/23/84, is here on a new case. He was booked in for aggravated domestic violence, a class 5 felony, and assault, a class 1 domestic violence misdemeanor. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for him. He will have a status conference November 10 at 8:30 in the morning with a preliminary hearing November 13th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Based on what's been alleged against him, it is a lengthy criminal history, which does include at least 1 felony conviction for a domestic violence case. I am inclined to set bail in the amount requested by the state, which is $15,000 secured with an ankle monitor if he posts that and orders not to go to the scene of the alleged crimes, no contact with the alleged victim, whether he's in or out of jail, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. I think he's been living there, so he can do a civil standby with law enforcement if so, but he can't continue to live there, and he has to obey any order of protection served on him. If anything changes after I conduct these initial appearances in-house, my final written order will reflect the court's ultimate decision in each of these cases. The court will not be updating this recording. All right, with that, we will stand in recess until 2 p.m. today.